Good morning, everybody. Kate here at Second Verse Paper Studio. I hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. I'm just swinging through to give a couple of shop updates and crafting project updates that I've been working on, and do a flip through of a new project that I have available for you guys. So first of all, I have been working on the Infinity Journal. I know it's been a while since I posted any updates. It's been slow going. I'm one of those people who kind of works in this weird kind of cycle. I'll have like crazy high energy and will just pump out projects and artworks and stories with my writing and trying new recipes and all that stuff. And then I kind of go into this lull phase, and it's not that I'm not creative anymore in that phase. I'm just more passively creative. I'm doing a lot of daydreaming and planning and gathering of materials and that kind of thing. And that's kind of where I'm at here. Junk Journal January was a huge creative high for me. That was probably the longest sustained one I've had in a while. And kind of rode on the momentum of that to start this project, and I just need a few more supplies for it, so I kind of petered out a little bit. I have been working on gathering cool textures. I did score some awesome vintage photographs about 2 weeks ago, so I'm working on ways to incorporate those. I've just been gathering materials mostly. I've done a couple little spreads in here. Nothing quite as wild as the Moving Gentleman, but I want to have that level of energy throughout this book. So that's all kind of marinating right now. So keep an eye out for updates on that. Since my last post there, I got a little distracted. And I'm super excited about it, actually, and I will show you why. I went thrifting last week and found some treasures. First of which, for a whopping $2, is this lovely book from 1980. It's called Men, a pictorial archive from 19th century sources. 412 copyright-free illustrations for artists and designers, selected by this noted collagist, Jim Harder. And what he did was go through like London Magazine and stuff like that and gather all these beautiful woodcut images, and they are ready for fussy cutting or collaging or use as backgrounds, and they're just fantastic. It's got men from all over the world doing all kinds of things. I'm so excited to use some of these. And I couldn't believe when I found it. I saw this find and it just said Men, and I was like, okay, what's the deal? And I pulled it out and jaw dropped. I could not believe I found this. It got me wondering if there was a women one to go with it, and there is. Right here inside the front cover, to talk about the Dover Pictorial Archive series, and I did a bit of a deep dive on Amazon, and I found out there are over 250 books in this series. Themed things like Victorian buildings, Celtic knots, alpine flower designs, stuff like that. And Jim Harder did in fact do a women collage book actually before this one, so I will be ordering that online because it's too fantastic to pass up. So if you're looking for source images, definitely check out that Dover Pictorial Archive series. I think it's going to be worth looking into. So that was a huge find for me. The next thing I found was this desk file sorter. And at first glance, it's just a great big book with numbered plasticky tabs down the side. And inside it's got like these manila folder type pages. with weird holes in there. I think it's supposed to hang on some sort of rack, which I don't understand, because as soon as you put things in it, you wouldn't be able to get the rack through there. So I'm not exactly sure what that's about. But what got me excited is this great big honkin' book is actually bound like an accordion file. How fun is that? And I actually have a plan for this already. I found 2 of them for about 50 cents a piece, and I'm so excited to use them. Sorry, I got my kitty here. He's feeling neglected. Anyway, you have to get down, puppy. Let go. My normal journal size is quite a bit smaller than this, and so I have some materials in my stash that I've been just kind of saving up, because I don't feel like a spread like this size will do them justice. Those really drippy laces, or the really luxe fabrics, or I've got some really beautiful, beautiful collage papers, like scrapbook papers, and I can't bear to cut them up that far. So those are going to go into this, and I'm so excited to get started on that. I'm actually going out after I film this to go pick up some sewing pattern paper to do the back sides of some of these pages. But you have to keep an eye out for updates on that project. The next thing I found that proved to be the biggest distraction of all was this really pretty, really springy wallpaper border. I found 2 rolls of it. And what I did, because I'm in garden mode, we still have snow on the ground and it's killing me, but I can't wait to start planting things. I turned them into these little single signature, slightly grungy garden planners. And I wanted it to be something really, really low-key, really simple. You shove it in your back pocket when you head out to the garden. You get it dirty, you wipe it off because it's kind of plasticky. Try vinyl wallpaper, so it is wipeable. And you know, if pages get wet, well, I already wet them to stain them up a bit, so it's not a big deal. I just want this to be something you can make a mess in. I have this really bad habit of buying beautiful, beautiful notebooks and journals and things, and then being too scared to write in them because I'm going to wreck them. And that's a really, really hard thing to get past. And it's really disheartening. So I wanted to make this something you shouldn't be afraid to wreck. Like I said, I grunged it up just a bit. I actually made a dozen of these little journals. They're 5 by 7 inches, so easy to throw in your pocket when you head out to the garden, easy to throw in a purse or in the car with you when you head to the hardware store or the nursery. And I'm really hoping these will be useful for some people. A lot of the covers are very different because they're on a big roll. I mean, the picture was this big running image. So all the covers are slightly different. They're all in the same tones. And if you have a slightly boring front, you've got a really intricate back. I think they're all pretty lovely. As is, some focus more on the birdhouse or on the terracotta pots, like this one. Some have more of the watering can or just the greenery. This one's got a lot of the greenery on it. So they're all very, very similar. They are not identical. A large part of that had to do with the supplies I had available. But because this was pre-pasted wallpaper, and I wanted it to be a little sturdier, as well as not sticky, I glued in some heavy scrapbook paper in coordinating colors. I've got some pinky orange ones, I've got some bluish gray ones, more gray, and a really pink. And that's the color palette that runs through all of these. And If it's not in the end papers, then it's in pockets, or it's in the snippet roll I included, that kind of thing. So, just gonna do a quick flip through, let you see the kinds of things I did in here. Like I said, I kept it really, really simple. I wanted it to be easy to use, customizable. There's some really, really gorgeous garden journals out there, guys. I want so many of them so bad, but I just know I won't use half the pages because they're so specific. I have very weird issues with my garden, like planting the wrong variety of basil is one that comes up, and I never keep track, or remembering to mail in the receipts from the hardware store for their rebate program. And knowing when to plant, I always jump the gun. Always. It's horrible. Or I forget and it's way too late and I don't get near enough off at harvest. So those are the kinds of issues I have. And I don't know what your gardening style is like. Mine is very seat of your pants. So I just kept this kind of open-ended. I've got a beautiful belly band on the first page. I actually made snippet roll, and guys, I had so much fun using all my offcuts and scraps and things. Some of these I even used like the frillies off of the tea paper I made. It was so satisfying, so much fun. I spent an evening just doing snippet roll this week. I used lots and lots of ledger paper in here because I feel like it's easy to write on and keep organized. Got just some of my tea stain paper. There's a couple of corner tucks, and I included some index cards that I did just a little stamping on to inspire you. Envelope pockets, grid paper, more tea stained paper. There is a fold out envelope pocket that I did for you guys, and I wanted to make sure, because I know sketching out the garden tends to be a big thing in a lot of the garden journals I looked at. I wanted to be sure you had a nice big gridded spread if you wanted to do a big garden sketch with lots of room in it. And then going to the end, got another belly band, bit of pretty floral note paper, printed on both sides actually. All the same stuff. These envelope pockets are actually the perfect size for tucking in seed packets, with or without seeds. I know after I plant, a lot of times I will forget when harvest is going to be, how often I need to water them, how far I need to thin them out, that kind of thing. So keep your seed packets, use them. I lose them. They're all over the house. It's horrible. But this is the perfect spot to keep those. A few more pages here, another corner tuck, another stamped note card, and we're to the end. And what makes this more of a garden journal and less of just a whatever kind of notebook are these little tabs I made to include with it. Notes on the weather, like first and last frost, planting and harvest calendars, especially if you're planting something like microgreens or lettuce where you need to re-sow every couple of weeks. There's an index tab, notes for next year, keep track of your expenses, observations, the seeds and seedlings you use, keep your receipts. Honestly, guys, that was what was in my mind when I put this envelope thing in here. If you want to do your garden sketch, any maintenance notes, like if you do any soil amendments, or if you have to replace your bamboo poles mid-season, or you need to do any pruning, that's where that would go. And I thought you could either use them like page tabs down the side or across the top of your page, or if you wanted to, you could use them as headers on the pages themselves. And to make it a little more fun and still highly customizable, I've included a little bundle of decorative goodies. There's a little paper doily in here. There's some of my offcuts that are still in the same color palette for you to cut up, tear up, use as is, whatever you want to do. There's a couple pieces of my collaged snippet roll. There's some little stickers in there. And everybody gets a cute floral die cut that kind of matches the theme. So if I wanted to do a maintenance log, maybe I could do a bit of collaging on here to make it really pretty, make me want to open that page and use it. I don't know, I left it up to you. I didn't want to decorate this so much that it became unusable for you because it is a pretty small book. And you might not want to do any decorating in there. You might just want a really utilitarian, I just need a place to keep my garden notes kind of a thing in here. Like I said, I did grunge it up just a little bit, so you don't have to worry about wrecking it. It's already a little wrinkly. It's already got some staining on it. So your fear of the blank page, that whole bit, they're not blank anymore. I already made a little bit of a mess for you. If this was my journal, I would probably end up doing my index right on the inside cover. And then I would use these as page headers because I don't think, if I want this to be really portable and stuff, I don't think I would maybe want these sticking out. Like my purse is not that big, I feel like they would catch. But using them as page headers would be great. And you don't have to use my note cards or my little note sheets. I just wanted to show that you guys have a lot of spaces to tuck important things in here. So hopefully this will speak to somebody. Like I said, I've got a dozen that are very, very similar to one another. Obviously the end papers are one of those 4. The snippet roll pages are a little different, and the corner tucks and things, they're all in that same that same paper collection, but they're all a little different. And then with the staining and grunging up that I did, they all have their own little bit of personality. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday. Thanks for stopping in, guys.